What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm starting out with a blank face today, which is not normally what I do, but today I want to talk about a full collection. This is the Pac-Man collection for Wet n Wild, and there are a lot of face products in here, so I figured I would start off pretty blank, pretty doughy looking, and that we would just go through all of these products today and try them all. Because there is a blush palette and there are some bronzer pellet things and some blushy highlight pellet things that I want to use in here. But let me show you what it looks like on the inside first, because it's a cute little collection. There's a very colorful highlight palette. There is a cheek palette. We have some interesting, like, not the most conventionally colored glosses. Like I mentioned, the two cheek products. And then up here we have a lip scrub and a lip balm. And there's a second layer in this package where we have a little set of nail polishes and two brushes. So I'm not going to use the nail polish today because your girl has press-ons and doesn't want to paint over them. But I'll definitely use the brushes. Before we get into it, I know that Wet n Wild had like a little bit of a controversy, a snafu, if you will, recently about whether or not they're cruelty-free because they are selling in China. To be honest with you, I've read like 3 different articles on it and I still don't fully understand the situation. The general consensus of people who exclusively buy cruelty-free is that they're avoiding them right now. So if you are one of those people, then I guess not for you. I'm not super familiar with the laws about it personally, but that was kind of what my takeaway from it was. But I think the best place to start in this collection is probably the eyeshadow palette, and I also think that that eyeshadow palette is probably the most exciting in this collection. So I'm going to start by doing an eye look and we'll get into all of the other items from there. I'll also swatch all the eyeshadows on my arm so you can see them. I already did that on my Instagram story, but I'll do it again. Before we get into it, please don't forget to leave a like on this video if you don't mind taking a second to do that, because it helps me out in a big fat way and I always appreciate it. And if you are new around here and you've been creeping through a few of my videos and you haven't committed to subscribing just yet, I would love to take a moment to encourage you to do so, because you know what? Word on the street is, if you do, you'll be as cool as that guy right there. And if that's not the pinnacle of cool, I don't know what is. And also because I would love to have you around for future videos. I think it'd be great. I think that's all we need to get out of the way before we get into it, so let's just jump right into the eyeshadow swatches. So these are all of the colors swatched on my arm. I went a little bit out of order because when I got to the second to last one, I was already on my elbow. So they go in order as they are in the pen, except for this white one. This here should be over here. Generally, I think that these swatch pretty well. Like I always say, I don't think that swatches are a great indication of how an eyeshadow is going to perform, but at least you get to see what they look like on skin. This white shade here is unexpectedly really pretty. It reminds me almost of like Fenty Diamond Bomb highlighter in the form of an eyeshadow. Hello, that sounds fantabulous. Personally, I feel like I really want to do like mostly like a coral type of a thing with this. Maybe a little color blocking with this turquoise over here, little highlight with that. I don't know, that's the direction my mind is going. But in general, these are really fun colors and I'm excited to see them in a drugstore palette. And when I say a drugstore palette, I know that I recently did a 3 looks video with a NYX palette that was super colorful, but that's not really a drugstore price point anymore. Wet n Wild is still within like a true drugstore price point. I'm going to start by going into this matte coral shade on a MAC 217 brush. But first, I'm going to tap out my primer because I've been sitting here with it on for a few minutes and my wrinkly lids are showing their true selves. And I'm going to start by placing that in the higher portion of the crease. You know, the usual. All right, well, that's very bright and pigmenty. On a clean blending brush, I'm just going to blend the edge of that out. On a Real Techniques shading brush, I'm going to go into this more orange coral with a lot of shimmer in it. And I'm going to bring that across my lid. I'm going to try using that dry. It applies really nicely dry. I don't think I need to wet that at all, actually. I'm going to take this little pointed crease brush and I'm going to go into the brown shade here. I'm just going to take a little bit of that and define the end of my crease. Not too much though. I don't want to lose that orangey color because it is pretty poppin'. And a little bit of it on the end of the lid. I went ahead and concealed and powdered underneath my eyes because we don't have any powder or concealer in this collection. We're gonna work on the lower lash line, but first I'm gonna go into this white shade here on the bottom and I'm going to pick it up with my ring finger. I'm just gonna dab a tiny bit of that in the center of my lid. I feel like this shade is going to make for a delightful lid topper, and damn if I wasn't right. I'm just gonna tap the edges of that with the same brush that we used to put down the shimmering orange. And in a clean pencil brush, I'm going to use that same white shade to highlight my inner corner. I'm packing it on the inner corner a little bit more intensely because I want it to look more like an actual eyeshadow shade rather than a topper in this scenario. So for the lower lash line, I'm kind of gonna like color block it a little bit. So I'm gonna go into this turquoise shade here on a Real Techniques Essential Crease Brush. And I'm gonna start buffing that into the lower lash line. And I'm gonna pick up my clean blending brush again and just blend the edge of that. I'm gonna pick up a small angled brush. This is a Sigma E85, and I'm gonna go into the navy shade here. I'm just gonna use that to define the lower lash line just a touch. And for my waterline, I'm gonna pick up the Urban Decay 24/7 pencil in the color Electric. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this eye. I'm gonna add some lashes and then we'll move on to the other products in the collection. Actually, while we wait for my lash glue to dry, let's try the lip scrub and balm. Seems like as good a time as any. Jesus Christ. This is the Bonus Fruit Lip Scrub. Looks like a little fruit from the game. It smells like a green Jolly Rancher. Feels about the same on the lips as every other Wet n Wild lip scrub I've ever used, which is a good thing because I really like their lip scrubs actually. And this little red one is the Bonus Fruit Lip Balm. These are so cute. And that's what it looks like on the inside, just a potted balm. Gonna pick up a little bit on my nail, just rub it in. Ooh, buttery, a little waxy. Tastes a little bit like cherry chapstick, but overall feels pretty nice on the lips. All right. I'm not mad about it. Now I'm gonna put on my lashes and then we can continue to the face products. Just so you guys can see what it looks like, this is the little nail polish set in the collection. The colors are very much in line with the colors in the rest of the collection and the Pac-Man theme. I personally have no idea how Wet n Wild nail polish works because I don't think I've ever tried it, and I honestly haven't used regular nail polish in a really long time, so not the best person to test this out, but if you want to see what the colors look like, that's them. Next up, we have the High Score Blush Palette. I'm gonna use it with their WAKA brush. The brush handle has little glitters in it and some of them are Pac-Man shaped. It's pretty cute. It's very extra. And this is what the blushes look like in the inside. I'll do a quick finger swatch of each one. That's what they look like. I actually like the matte ones a lot. They're nice and subtle. I always love a subtle blush. I'm gonna go into this one here because it looks like it would be a nice color for my cheeks. I'm just gonna apply that like I normally would any blush because why would I do it any other way? That reminds me of one of the Tarte blushes that I like a lot. That's really nice and it blends really nicely too. Next, I'm gonna try the Power Pellets bronzer. I get that these little balls are supposed to be the Power Pellets in the game and I think it's really on theme, but you know what? I gotta be honest with you guys. I really almost never like these little ball-shaped turd face products. Just never appealed to me. I feel like it makes it harder for them to use and I don't see, outside of like the novelty of it being a little ball, I don't see any advantage of having them in that form. I'm gonna pick up a little bit of them on the Real Techniques contour brush. The other thing that I'm not super excited about is that these do have shimmer in them and I don't generally love a shimmery bronzer, but just use it with a light hand and see what happens. Ooh, oh, it's darker than I was expecting. Oh, too much, too much. The other Power Pellets item is this blush lighter. It is supposed to be a highlighting blush, if that wasn't obvious from the name. For this, I'm gonna use the brush from this collection. I'm just gonna dip into there. They are very, like, very shiny looking, like very highlighty looking. Those have a nice finish. And the color isn't bad. Now all that's left in this collection are the 4 lip glosses. I am very interested to see how these perform, specifically the blue. That should be interesting for sure. So I'm gonna do a little swatch montage and then I'm gonna pick one of these shades, pair it with this eyeball, and we will discuss. We will discuss the collection as a whole. Okay, that brings us to the end of this collection. The gloss that I chose to wear with this look is the coral color, which is called Clyde. I just realized now that the lip glosses are each named after one of the ghosts in the game. It's very cute, very unthemed, it's so cute. As far as the glosses are concerned, they're very much the same as the other glosses that I've used from Wet n Wild. They're very pigmented, but also like, I don't know, they kind of like have a little bit of a gel consistency to them. They remind me a bit of like one of those vinyl finish glosses. I do like them. I found that the blue one, Inky, was compared to the other ones, it was a little bit less opaque. It was a little bit patchy. You could definitely use a liner underneath it, maybe like a denim-y kind of a blue lip liner. I know for a fact that ColourPop has one. As a matter of fact, I have it right here, and it is called, whatchamacallit, something like this. This would be probably pretty good underneath the blue gloss. So if you're looking for a blue gloss, it's not bad, but I definitely think that it could use a liner. The blush palette is actually surprisingly really nice. The color that I use reminds me of the Tarte blush in Exposed, which is one of my go-to blushes. I kind of like that pinky nude blush thing. The eyeshadows, I want to say that they're shockingly good for the price point, but at this point I'm not really shocked anymore because Wet n Wild shadows have performed very well for me in the past. I know some people don't seem to love the formula, but I haven't had any issues with them. I find that they're very pigmented and they blend out well. They are a little strange to the touch, like the matte almost always feel like they have a little bit of like a cream gel texture to them, but not really. I don't really know how to explain it unless you've like dipped your finger into one. But overall, they worked really nicely. I didn't find that any of them were like lacking pigment. Obviously, I only used a few shades in the actual eyeshadow look, but even just in the swatches, they all looked really rich. The biggest standout in this palette is the white shade on the bottom. It's so bright and shimmery. It really reminds me of Diamond Balm from Fenty in eyeshadow form. The lip balm and the lip scrub. Okay, so the lip scrub is very much like the other Wet n Wild lip scrubs. It's very scrubby and it kind of has like a waxy base to it. They don't always seem like they're gonna be the scrubbiest when you put them on the lips, but for some reason they really just get all of the dead skin off. This really tastes like a Jolly Rancher, so if you're not into that kind of a flavor, then maybe you're not gonna like it. I enjoyed it. I always like the apple Jolly Ranchers personally. If you have a million other lip scrubs, do you need this in your life? No, probably not. But if you're looking for one and you think the packaging is cute, I think you'll like it. The lip balm itself, the packaging is super cute and it feels nice going on the lips, but I will say that it smells like a cherry chapstick, which that's not what I want. And it kind of feels like chapsticky. It's very buttery and smooth, but I'm not sure if I love it. The blush and bronzer Power Bullets, I understand the cute idea and like the branding behind these for this collection because they represent the Power Bullets in the game. However, I don't like them. And it's not to say that they are like a low quality product. If you like these type of like meteorites type of a face product, you'll probably like them because they're really very pigmented. They really are. They have a lot of color payoff. They have a lot of shimmer in them. But for me, I just don't love this type of product, especially I don't love a shimmery bronzer. So these are just not for me. I would prefer a pressed highlight over like a blushy highlight in this format. But if you do like that kind of thing, you might like it because the quality is good. They're not bad at all. I just, for me, And I realized just now that I didn't use the eyeshadow brush, but we got to see the quality of the brushes because I used the blush brush. The quality of the brushes are really nice, especially for the price point, and the handle is really, really cool. If you are into this type of Pac-Man theme, I think you'll like it. The Pac-Man shaped glitter in there is a subtle hint and you have to look for it. If you need a blush brush and you're into this theme, I think it'll put a smile on your face when you pick it up off your desk. Overall, I think this collection is the exact quality that I've come to expect from Wet n Wild, which especially for their price point is very, very high. I do think that the packaging could be a little bit more sturdy, but again, at that price point, I don't think that that's something that I would necessarily complain about. And I have to be honest with you guys, I hate the stickers that they put on these things. It's like the most annoying thing in the world to open. So please leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think. Have you tried the collection? Let me know what you think of the theme of the collection. Are you into that nostalgic video game vibe? I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. Please don't forget to leave a like on this video if you don't mind taking a second to do that because it really helps me out a lot and I really appreciate it. And also, if you are new here, go ahead and subscribe because I would love to have you around for more videos, and there are just so many more videos coming down the line that I would love to have you here for. If you want to keep up with me between videos, which you should, you know, you're gonna miss things if you don't. I'm over on Instagram as @MsQuinface. You can follow me over there for more makeup looks, close-ups of the looks we do here on this channel, some lip art, more creative stuff, and I keep my stories updated with all of the stuff that goes on here on this channel and plans and polls and all of that good stuff. So come find me over there and I would love to have you. If you are participating in my book club series, Get Ready With Me, we will be doing the second half of A Court of Mist and Fury the second week of July, which is the week of July 15th. So if you are getting caught up on that, I will keep the information for that down below. It is thundering out behind me right now. Wow. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you spending some time with me, and I will see you in the next one.